We all know why these guys play in the UFL, but what's the real goal? The dream is to make it to the NFL, but here's the harsh truth. How many of them actually make it? In 2023, 78 UFL players were invited to an NFL football camp, but just 20 of them made it onto an NFL Week 1 roster. That's about 5% of the entire league making it to the big stage. Now, most UFL players, guys, the reality is they're playing for less than an NFL practice squad player while risking injury and having no guaranteed contracts. Now, I played college back at Davenport University, and this was when they were a school transitioning from the NAIA to Division II. And at 19 years old, I was lining up next to a 27-year-old JUCO transfer who was playing the same position as me. That's when I had to ask myself, where does this actually lead? So that's when I really made a decision. Like, I wasn't going to wait around for an opportunity that might never come. I left college before the season ended, and I started looking for other ways to make money. By 22 years old, I made my first 100K in real estate wholesaling without breaking my body every single weekend. The biggest thing is I feel like we should break down how much these UFL players are making and compare that to the real world expenses, just everyday real life expenses. So the average UFL salary is about $5,500 a week, and that's plus a $400 weekly housing stipend. So that's about $59,000 per season. In comparison, an NFL practice squad player is making about $12,000 per week. So that's about $216,000 each and every season, right? So most UFL players, as mentioned, they're earning what an entry-level office worker makes while risking their health every single game. So, let's kind of put this whole thing into perspective. Like I said, if you're making about $50K a year, let's see how that really stacks up against real world expenses. So renting a 1-bedroom is about $1,500 a month. Taxes is going to be about, $10K, depending on what state you live in. So $10K on that $50,000. Living cost is going to be about $1,200 a month in addition to your $1,500 a month in rent, right? So leftover money on a yearly basis, an average UFL player has about $8,000 to $10,000 left over for the entire single year, okay? So at the end of the year, again, most UFL players, they're kind of barely saving anything, and if they don't, that's if they don't get cut first, okay? Now, the biggest thing I want you guys to understand, I'm not saying don't chase your dreams. I'm the last person to say that. Like, if you know anything about me, if you just look at my track record, just see on YouTube, I'm the last person to say do not chase your dreams. But what I am saying is that if you're betting your entire future on a league that's paying less than a regular 9-to-5 job, what's your backup plan? Many athletes out here, they're using their discipline, their work ethic, and leadership skills to build businesses. So the good thing is you don't really have to start from scratch, right? All you really have to do is find a way to transition those skills that you already have into other avenues like real estate, different businesses, or just other income streams in general. And you can use, again, that same grind and mindset to help you transition onto the next level and the next stage of your life, right? Next chapter of your life. The biggest thing for me, guys, I did the exact same thing when I was 18 years old, dropping out. When I started at Davenport University, I had just transferred from a Division I school by the name of Bowling Green State University, okay? I didn't have a scholarship. I was a walk-on player at Bowling Green State University, decided to transition to a Division II school so I could let my, talent shine a little bit, right? The crazy thing that happened again, Coach Spark, or the coach that was there, you guys will see, but he started bringing in all these JUCO players. The coach that recruited me, he ended up leaving the entire program. So once these JUCO players started coming in, these guys are 22, 24, another one that ended up being like 27, right? I'm like, yo, how do I compete with a 27-year-old grown man? I'm not gonna lie to you. Part of me really was thinking like that. It kind of was discouraging a little bit because it was like, this guy's like been like, he's done with the 26-year-old puberty. They say men don't stop growing until 26. I'm like, yo, this dude is like full grown. How do I even compete with this guy? It was very discouraging. That being said, it was just put a battery in my back to make sure that I'm not in the same position as a 19-year-old kid when I'm 27 years old, right? So that was the main thing that switched over my whole life and just the way I looked at life during that time. Now, that being said, I thought I was able to transition into my actual real estate background, my actual real estate movement when it comes to learning wholesaling real estate. That was something that was I decided to put all the energy that I had just had after dropping out of college and being like, yo, it's just not for me anymore. I decided to still wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning before I went into work and to put that time into finding my first real estate deal. You feel me? So I could have spent that time differently. I could have decided to just sleep in a little bit longer because now I don't have to worry about waking up at 4 a.m. anymore, right? I could have decided to just go out and just hang out with people that I knew back in my hometown and just kick it. I can just kick it more because I moved back to my hometown and I wasn't playing football, I wasn't playing sports. So I could have just found time to just kick it with people and just do nothing, right? Biggest thing that I suggest any athlete that's out there, especially if you're an athlete that's in the UFL, of course, chase your dreams. Again, I'm not saying don't face it. All I'm saying is have a backup plan and decide, are you really interested in making it to the NFL, or are you interested in the money that the NFL can provide for you? And if you're interested more so financially driven like myself, I was financially driven, right? I was chasing my dream. That's why I relate so much to the UFL, right? Because I was chasing from the standpoint of, if I felt like if that was the only way that I knew I could make money, if I genuinely felt that way, then that's what I'd be doing. I'd be chasing my football dreams, right? Thankfully, I just grew up in a position that allowed me to recognize that there were other ways. Wholesaling real estate found me at 19 years old, right? But even beyond that, before that, prior to that, I still recognized there were other ways to make it. So I wasn't so fully gung-ho on just football. And that's what I want you to understand. If you're watching this and you're a UFL player, maybe you are part of the 5% that will make an NFL roster, maybe become a practice squad player, maybe even make a starting roster, right? Maybe you are part of that 5%, but you know, there's 95% of you that's watching this that's not going to be on the NFL roster. And you got to ask yourself, is it worth it to keep risking your body every single week with no guaranteed contracts, and you're making the same as an entry-level office player when you can actually put that same skills, mindset, grind, dedication, motivation, consistency, persistence, everything that entails to be a great football player, because I believe you're exceptional to even be able to play amongst other, you know, semi-pro players. That being said, is it worth it to keep putting your body on the line for that position when you can go ahead and transition your skills that you already have and get to step in the direction that makes you become a beast in business, like you were a beast on the field, except you'll be making way more money, guarantee. That being said, only you know who you are, but that's why I started Athlete to Entrepreneur community. That's why I started this Athlete to Entrepreneur YouTube channel, to connect with people like maybe yourself. Like I said, like myself, I was never going to be a Division One. I mean, like not a Division One. I would love to say I would have been a Division One superstar, right? I would love to say that, but I was never recruited by Ohio State, right? That being said, I was never going to be a top draft pick. I was never going to be a round 1, round 2, round 3 draft pick, right? But I've been able to build success in business that's been a lot less taxing on my body than what those things can occur, right? What those things can entail. My biggest thing is relating to the athlete that's out there that's in that between position, that you're good, you're great, but you're not good enough to make it to the big leagues. And it takes some humbling to actually sit back. And when I had to quit football, bro, that was the hardest thing, right? Because like football was who I was. So it wasn't a smooth transition into like finding real estate. But when I quit football, it opened up my channels to be able to recognize, like, what do I really want? And I really wanted to get to the back. What do you really want watching this? Do you really want to be, you know, in front of the lights on Sunday, you know, thousands, millions of people watching you every Sunday? If that's what you really want, then keep going for it. If you also want financial, generational financial legacy built for your family, if that's what you want, then why not get started now? Don't wait another year saying that you might make it to the NFL. Don't wait another year. Get started now. Even if this is your UFL season that you're starting, get started now within the season. Join Athlete to Entrepreneur community. Subscribe to the Athlete to Entrepreneur YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram or TikTok just for more insights. And most of all, I would love if you dropped a comment. And if you had to choose between the UFL and business, which one are you picking and why? Until next time, man, as always, you know what to do. Get the step here. Hey.